Hi guys, Chris here with Super Savvy Travelers. Hey, sorry about the hair. I haven't been able to get out and get it handled. Anyway, still getting over the ankle thing. It's been quite a challenge, let's just say, but it's working, so I'm getting better. Anyway, I wanted to do a real quick video because, everybody who's coming to Italy, one of the first things you think about is the food, right? Oh, it's such a great place to eat. But probably there's a little bit of anxiety in the back of that going, okay, but how am I going to not gain 50 pounds the minute I get there? And if you're like me, you just look at food and you gain weight. So it takes a lot of planning and certain strategies to avoid gaining weight in the place that has the best food in the entire world. That is Italy. So I've got some ideas for you. I have a little checklist here. And the first one is portion control. And that's really been the thing for me, is that, I would love to sit down and just stuff myself at every meal, but I can't do that. So what I do is I eat relatively small breakfast, a little bit of protein. And then at lunch, that's when I have my big meal, quote unquote. Now I can't just stuff myself full of pasta and even if I just had one meal a day and it was like everything I wanted to eat, it would probably still make me gain weight. So I have a good sized meal and I have whatever I want. I just don't have a whole bunch of it. And then for dinner, I usually make some vegetables. And sometimes if I've had a huge lunch, I'll just have fruit or something like that. I know it sounds a little bit like, crazy, but with my body type, that's what it takes. So I suggest doing your big meal in the middle of the day, just because you need the energy if you're going to be out and about in the afternoon. Stay away from sugar in the afternoon. Any kind of desserts I tend to have very, very small ones, and they would be before bed because sugar is like a narcotic for me. So, if you want to not sleep through the day, stay away from sugar in the afternoon. Alcohol, a lot of calories there that you really don't need, but that's kind of up to the individual person. Just add that into your calorie count for the day and your portion control and everything else, and you're going to be fine. The second thing is the Mediterranean diet, which we hear so much about. And honestly, I have a lot of clients who come over and they have health problems. And then as they're here, a lot of their health problems start to just resolve. And honestly, I truly believe it's the quality of the food here, the fact that it's not been engineered and made to, stay good on a supermarket shelf for months and months at a time. And it's not processed. And I think that's the biggest thing. If you get fruits from the vegetable stands, they're fresh. You can see they're fresh. You can smell they're fresh. And they help aid your digestion, and they help feed your body. So I know a lot of people that get here and suddenly start feeling healthier and actually lose weight, even if they didn't change their habits. Another thing you want to do is stay hydrated, especially in summertime. And it's more than just water. Thank you, Gigi. It's more than just water. You have to have electrolytes if you're drinking a ton of water and sweating a lot. So in the pharmacies here, they just sell them over the counter. They're little electrolyte packs and you take them with you. Obviously get your instructions from the pharmacist. They're trained to advise you in these matters. Obviously I'm not a doctor or a nurse or anything like that. So I just know what works for me. And just plain water doesn't always do it. If you get a headache, you're feeling kind of weird, and it's just been really hot, definitely try that and see if it helps. And walking, which I'm one to talk because I'm sitting here with a broken ankle and haven't walked for 2 months, other than just stumping around on my boot. But walking is, Italy's just a walky place, right? You're going to walk a lot. So here's a caveat too. If you're coming to Italy, don't just come and start walking once you get here. Start training. You got to be in training for Italy. You got to make sure the shoes fit and they're comfortable and that you can walk a long ways without getting tired. Or, find out if there's weak spots in your skeleton. Your knees are going to hurt if you do this and this, so you got to plan accordingly. So definitely plan ahead for all of that stuff and get into training for your trip. Another thing, we touched on this with the food thing, is the local markets. Now, the produce here is unbelievable and it's so cheap. Oh my gosh, last night Pete came back with one of those Romanesque cauliflowers. I think they call it Roman broccoli or something, but it's like all this cone and it's green. And it's one of my favorite things, and you roast it with a little olive oil, a little salt and pepper. You could eat an entire plate of that and still lose weight the next day. Of course, I like to dip it in olive oil and mayonnaise, which you have to be a little careful about. But it can take the place of bread or pasta or something like that, fill you up and make you feel like you had a good amount of food, be really good for you, and keep your weight down. So another thing is, what is with these mandarins here? They're so good. Like, they're better than any dessert I can have, and they've been keeping me healthy. I have like 2 or 3 of these teeny tiny ones. They're super sweet. Of course, Gigi helps me because she loves them. And they just seem to really be keeping the flu bugs away and everything else. So definitely eat the fruits here. They're just fabulous. You know, for dessert, you can get fresh fruit sometimes, and fresh fruit in America is like, you know, you get it if you're on a diet, but it doesn't really taste very good, and you usually leave half of it. But the fruits here are unbelievable, and you're not going to miss the panna cotta and the gelato and everything else if you have the fruits here. So those are my tips. Definitely come over. Definitely try everything. You know, another tip is get the antipasto platter, or divide the portions between you and your partner. Pete and I do that a lot. We'll go and we'll get a pasta and a meat dish, and we split them both, and it's plenty for both of us. And of course, when we go to Volare Sicilienne and we get the cannoli there, which are the size of a rolled up newspaper, we have to split that. But even then, you have to watch your weight for a few days after that, because it's so big and it's so good. But these are all tips that you can take and really enjoy eating in Italy without worrying about putting on a bunch of tonnage, which then you have to deal with when you get back. Or if you're living here, you're not going to keep gaining weight while you're here, because you're going to have your strategies in place. So there you go, guys. Hope that helps.